The latest world update for Microsoft Flight Simulator has now been released, and this one brings huge improvements to the USA with new terrain data, 50 new points of interest and much more. Let's jump in and take a look. So, one of the things I want to do in this video is to make a before and after comparison for a number of locations. Last week I checked out Washington Monument, the White House, Mount Rushmore and Niagara Falls. All of these needed quite a bit of work doing on them, as they weren't exactly in the best of states, shall we say. The good news is that all of these, and indeed many others, are now vastly improved. So let's jump straight to that comparison. So, as before, the first place I want to look at is Washington DC. Now, one thing I immediately noticed was the improved draw distance here. It may just be me, unfortunately I don't have a direct comparison for this, but I do feel it looks rather good. What I do have a direct comparison for is the White House. The top footage is from previous builds, the bottom footage is from the current build, and you can see the White House actually looks as it should, as does the Washington Monument. The left is the old version, the right is the current version. Only downside is that the shadow is still baked into the footage there. And there is the Capitol building as well. I don't have this from previous, but just so you know, it has also been updated. Now, one place I was really happy to see was Mount Rushmore. In a smaller image on the bottom right is the old footage. You can see that the carved statues are not actually present, but now they are, and they actually do look very good. With a closer up view, you can actually see they're also very detailed, some quite nice resolution textures going on here. Now, Niagara Falls are always a popular destination. This is the Rainbow Bridge recently added. A slight glitch there on the water, up close not quite so apparent. It's a good addition though to have the bridge there, so I'm pleased to see it. Now, as for the waterfalls themselves, obviously the engine doesn't do running water, but the visuals are much improved. There's the old version, and here is the new version. This actually looks really good when we look at it from up a little bit higher. Again, here is the previous version. You can see some glitches and things not looking quite so good. And here it is with the new version. Spectacular really, it looks very nice indeed. So there we have a few comparisons, mostly the ones I took last week, just in anticipation of this particular video. So it gives us a bit of an idea of what has actually been improved. Now, the USA update is truly massive. There's far too much to look at in this single video, at least not without it being an hour long. I'll be taking a deep dive then into new areas over the coming weeks, but for now here's an overview of some of the other things to look out for. On screen you can see all of the new points of interest. Some standout ones for me are Devil's Tower, Yosemite, Hoover Dam and the Las Vegas Strip at night. Of course, both the Johnson and Kennedy Space Centers are in there as well. The airport graveyard in Tucson was one area I wanted to check out immediately, and that's what you can see on the screen right now. So there's plenty to check out, a whole load of changes to the game. Meanwhile, the update adds a stunning tour of the eastern seaboard. Make sure to check this out. It'll start out in New York and head on over to Washington DC that is. There's also a brand new bush trip which covers Alaska. Whilst this is a world update, so basically changes to the sim itself are light, Asobo have also added in a number of fixes and improvements. On the screen you can see the relevant patch notes. Now I've got to say, so far this has been the most unstable build of all for me. Every time I exit back to the main menu, the sim crashes to desktop. It does this every single time without fail. Now I assume this isn't happening for everyone, seeing as the forums and other communities haven't gone into meltdown, but it is certainly a problem. So let me know if you're also experiencing this, because I'd love to know. Another nice change is the night lighting, where smaller streetlights are now displayed more randomly, giving a more realistic appearance to towns and cities. This is London, so perhaps not the best of examples of all, as it's pretty busy in terms of lighting, but it does look rather nice I feel. So there we have it, an update to the USA, and a pretty significant one at that. Now, Asobo have said they're looking at Northern Europe at some point, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. They also want to improve Russia at some point in the future, although I suspect that one's not going to be quite as easy as we would perhaps like. There is of course a whole world out there, an entire planet Earth, and many people will no doubt say that their particular area does need some updates, and I know that's true for England as well as, well, probably every other country as well. But they are coming. It does look like Asobo are keen to do all of this, so I for one am very much looking forward to seeing what comes next. That then brings us to an end of this video. I will have some more videos over the coming weeks on, well, some tours of the USA as well as other locations, so do keep an eye out for those. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.